Welcome back. We have Dave Fitton with us. He has been on the show several times, and he is a member of CORE. But you are here to talk about Flint Hills Discovery Center, and I'm not familiar with what that is, so I'm just going to turn the floor over to you. And
oh,
you
really?
Tell us.
You're just going to let me have it?
I'm just going to let you have it. Go for it, Dave.
I'm going to kind of go step back a little
Please
bit.
Do.
And what happened was Scott Swanson, who you may know,
Okay.
you know Scott, yeah. Has he been on here before?
No,
he
I don't
never
believe
has.
so.
He's kind of shy. He was very, very good friends with an ex-mayor of Manhattan, Kansas, and they got to talking, and I guess he goes up there a couple times a year and they play golf together or whatever, and he started talking to him about the economic redevelopment that they've done downtown and all these things, and so he said, well, why don't you bring some people up from your community for a visit? So we did that, and there was about 10 of us that went up, I think it was in August, and those people were just fabulous. I mean, they just rolled out the carpet for us. They got all the right people involved. They told us about the economic development project they started 20 years ago in their community. They have, you might think, well, Manhattan, it's bigger than Harrison, and it is. It's about 50,000 people, but a third of that population is Fort Riley. Another third of the population, actually more than a third, is K-State. And so when you look at just the community itself, it's not that much bigger than Harrison. Right. So we just learned a lot while we were there. They started their process about 20 years ago, and they started with revitalizing their downtown area. And it was really, very controversial. People were all upset. They ended up
didn't want change.
Oh, no. They ended up building a full-blown shopping center, kind of like they did up in Branson with the landing, and they did it right next to their historic downtown.
Wow.
And of course, everybody that was in the original downtown, they just said, you're going to kill our businesses and all that kind of stuff. Of course, it didn't happen. What it really did was it helped revitalize the whole downtown area. Instead of building that shopping center out on the perimeter, they put it
right in the heart of the
and
town.
it brought everybody into the center of town. And so it was a really neat project. And the Flint Hills Discovery Center was kind of on the very tail end of this thing. This is the last part of their redevelopment. And what they decided to do, Flint Hills is kind of an interesting story. I'd never heard anything about it, didn't know squat about it. But what we found out when we were there was that the Flint Hills was the route that when they were coming through Kansas up from Texas to take their cattle to Kansas City, where the slaughterhouses were and all that kind of stuff, they would intentionally go through the Flint Hills because the type of grass that's in that area has such a high nutritional value that the cattle would actually gain weight instead of losing weight.
I gotcha.
So that's what makes this Flint Hills kind of an interesting thing, and they viewed that as a regional asset, much in the same way that we would look at the Ozark Mountains or the Buffalo River and that sort of thing. And they said, this is an asset we can leverage,
right? Even
though most people have never heard of it. And it's just an incredible facility. It's amazing. I mean, if you're ever up, in the Kansas City area and you're heading down I-70 towards Denver, I really recommend that you get in there. The thing that happened to us was they kind of took us on the tour as if we were, paying, to see the Discovery Center. And the first thing they do is they kind of funnel you into this little theater, which has a screen that's 180 degrees screen, so that it kind of wraps around. And you sort of think, well, you're going to be doing this. And the reality is that your vision actually allows you to see all of this at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's just an incredible production that they put together on the Flint Hills. And they the temperature changes, the wind blows, all of this kind of stuff is going on at the same time, so it appeals to all of your senses. So that even if you never knew anything about the Flint Hills, by the time you get done and out of there, you're just kind of like, whoa, what just happened to me? That kind of effect. And anyway, long story.
We're out of time, Dave.
Oh, that's darn it. But what we said was, oh gosh, we don't know how to convey this story to our community. I mean, we're going to come back, we're going to get all excited, we're going to try to tell people, and they're going to say, oh yeah, you know, here they go again, talking about stuff. And they said, well, if you want us to, we'll come down and make a presentation, and we will tell our story to your community. And so we're very fortunate to have 4 individuals coming from Manhattan, Kansas next week to tell the story. And I got to tell you, we've kind of let the word out to other communities. There's 3 communities that are actually driving to Harrison just so they can see this presentation, coming from as far away as 200 miles. So that kind of tells you the value. And we're right here in Harrison. So what I'm encouraging people to do is to show up at the Durand Center next Tuesday, 12:30. It's going to take about an hour and a half to do this, but I got to tell you, it's really going to be really worthwhile. There's some real good lessons that we can learn from these folks. They've also said that they'll open up everything to our community. They've spent millions of dollars on the legal side of what they had to do to get where they were, and then they're willing to share all of that information with us. It's almost like having a sister city without officially having a sister city. And so I'm really
and bring
excited.
ideas to the community about how we can do, I guess, things along this line with our community.
I'm a big believer in not reinventing the wheel. Yeah. If somebody's done something and they've been successful, I think you look at it and you study it. And this Flint Hills Discovery Center, if you can build something around something that very few people know about and become successful, and they have, it's self-sustaining. I mean, within the first 4 months, it was breaking even. You know, what could we do with the Ozarks, the Buffalo River, or whatever with the assets that we have here? So anyway, that's, again, Tuesday, November the 27th. That starts at 12:30 at the Durand Center, and I really encourage everyone to join me there. And
is this entry or is it free?
It's free.
Oh, okay.
It's just
informational.
It's informational, and it's free to the community.
Good
deal.
Deal.
That's wonderful.
Questions?
No, I think you answered them all. I think this is a part of CORE, and the CORE wants to make a vibrant downtown successful, profitable, and make the community a safe and happy place to be. Yeah. So that's what it's all about.
It's a good point. You know, last week we had this the chamber put on the deal on entrepreneurship, and we had the webinar and that sort of thing, and that kind of grew out of CORE with the entrepreneurship spoke, and this is sort of coming out of the Destination Harrison spoke, where we need to create Harrison as a destination for people that want to come and visit us and hopefully live here at some point. So that's what this is.
Good information. If you're interested in that, the dates again. Or the date again.
It's a week from yesterday, so that's Tuesday, November the 27th, 12:30 at the Durand Center.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Dave, and it's all free.
It's all free.
Yeah. We'd like to thank all the guests been on the show. We had Bill Walker from American Smokehouse Company, which you can go visit him on Facebook, American Smokehouse CO, right? And then we also had Michelle Jarjura from the Harrison Regional Chamber of Commerce talking about the upcoming Christmas parade, Mary Bishop and Ross Slavic about the dinner theater Dashing Through the Snow at 12 Oaks, and Will Welch, which...
impressive young man.
Yes, and also Dave Fitton. Stay with us. Y'all have a great
impressive
holiday.
Old man. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks a lot. Have a great holiday over this weekend, and we'll see you again next time.
I couldn't help it, you know, it just led into that.